Hey everybody, I'm back. I'm here to do a special video after watching and reading much of the debate about the power grip from Iceberg's channel, Overthrow's response, and Scott Stokely's response to both Josh and Dylan of their respective channels, as well as a video that I saw from Disc Golf Teacher. I don't know his name, but he has a YouTube channel as well. They've all talked about the power grip, and I wanted to sort of give my take on the whole thing. So I think that you have, you know, putters typically, your mid-ranges, your fairway drivers, and your distance drivers. And I think it's possible people may want to change up their grip based on that. I'm actually going to have a much more detailed video on this coming out tomorrow. But here, all I want to do is try out different grips with different discs and see how I like it. Now, in the interest of transparency, I'm a casual disc golfer at the recreational disc golfer level. Anyone that watches my videos knows that I'm not a pro. I never teach per se, but I basically talk about what I'm going through, and I typically vlog how I've been trying to learn how to throw better. But I want to talk with you real quick about how I grip a disc. I typically, for the last year or two, I use the pinch grip, and I use that to inform how I'm going to grab the disc, and I typically use the power grip per se. I use this grip on all discs from putters all the way up to distance drivers. This is just like an 11 speed. This is a Mamba, but I do the same thing. I always grab it like this, and then that, and that sort of helps me inform me how I'm going to throw. And I just haven't worried about it since. But I'm willing to try different grips based on the type of disc that I have. For example, a putter, I'm willing to try maybe a more fanned type grip, and I'm willing to move my thumb back. But I'm going to talk about a variety of these issues here, about the fulcrum issue and where thumb placement has to do with that, finger placement, etc. But I'm of the mind that you start with a pinch, you put this in the meat of your hand and you grip it like that, and you try to throw it like that, and you experiment. But I'll go that into my next video. So I've got some discs. Let me get sorted, and I'm going to go ahead and start throwing. I'm about 300 feet away from anything that I might possibly hit. I went and used a Bushnell, got to about 300 feet away from that shack way down there, and that since I can't really throw more than 300 feet, I'm going to start out with how I normally throw with putters, and I'm actually going to start from a standstill, and I'm going to show you how I normally throw. So, put my foot back, just about here. And I'm just warming up, of course. Those are a little bit less than halfway from the 300 mark. And these are all R-Pro Aviars that I'm throwing, all 5 of them. Made of the same soft plastic, and they're just putters. That's probably about 170, 180. And the hyzer is deliberate. I just want to see what it looks like. So this one here was about 230 feet away from here, which is kind of nice. I don't know which one this was that I threw, because they're all yellow R-Pro Aviars. But that's kind of nice. I think the one that I threw more flat. I'm trying to throw flat at first and then more hyzer. Okay, now I'm going to try the modified fan grip. So I'm not going to do what I normally do, which is pinch it, put it in the meat of my palm, and then throw. I'm going to try the modified fan grip, if I can figure out how to do that. I think it's like this. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is this is the fan grip, or at least to what I can make comfortable in my hand. Trying to get my pinky and wrist on the plate here, pinky and thumb, and then these on the flight plate. That's not bad, about 200, maybe 190. Didn't really like the feel of that, so clearly I'm not doing this right. This feels like it's not bad. I do feel like I have more control, but I'm not sure if I'm getting any extra distance. I'm going to try a little bit more hyzer. That actually hurt a little bit, so I think I'm doing that wrong. So clearly for me to try the modified fan grip, I'm going to have to do a little more research, a little more playing around with disc angle and see how that goes. No, that's not good. This isn't a putt, so do like this, that. Put this out kind of, how about there? Okay, a little bit hyzer. Oh, I pulled that. I was trying to gun it. I can see why people choose different grips. Some of them simply just don't suit them. There we go. I threw it too high, but I was trying to get the hyzer I wanted. Incidentally, we have about a 10 mile per hour wind coming from the back. Okay, next I'm going to try a grip that's very similar to Drew Gibson's grip. This is the best I can do considering I'm not Drew Gibson and I've never played with this grip before, but it's essentially the 3-fingered power grip, but instead of him, like he puts his thumb out kind of right here. You know, I think I will put my thumb out here and see if it helps, but my pinky is not on this. This is similar to the way Ken Climo holds it. He holds his disc like he's eating with a fork, and that's very similar to this here. So again, I'm gonna go that way, and incidentally, 2 of those were about 200 feet. I wouldn't consider the modified fan grip the way I threw it to be effective for distance. So here's my version of Drew's grip. I kind of like how that came out, but I threw too low. I was correcting for the high throws that I did earlier. Okay. Put this back here, put this here. Try to get this as close as I can to his grip that I can emulate. That's good. I'd say that's comparable to the grip that I already use in terms of how it felt and threw. I didn't notice any extra rip, but then it's always possible that I'm not doing his grip right. So again, I'm stacking 3 fingers, moving this out a little bit, try about the same amount of hyzer I did before. So I'm trying to increment from flat to hyzer. Whoa, too high and too much hyzer. I'd say for me, this isn't working out. I'm not a fan of this grip, but I'm going to try it 2 more times. Get that out here, 3 fingers, the best I can with my design, hand design. And I'm going to try maybe a little lower, but about the same amount of hyzer. I pulled on it too hard and pulled it out that way. Decent rip, but I'm not enjoying that, to be honest. One more time. Nothing against Drew Gibson, of course. This clearly works for him, but I'm trying to find what works for me. Yeah, I'm pulling that too much. That said, the way it feels in my hands, I don't like it. I feel I don't get the strength on that as much as I get a normal grip, like with all 4 of my fingers on the flight plate. So I think we're gonna probably stay away from that particular type of throwing. So I can already feel the strain on my fingertips with some of those that I've tried. So I'm less likely to try, the kind of fan grips that are out there. So I think I'm more likely going to stick with some form of power grip. That's just me, at least with these putters, maybe with drivers. But I mean, from everything I hear about fan grips, people prefer to use those with putters and not drivers. But these modified fan grips or modified power grips are not really doing it for me. So now let me try more of a fan grip. This is what I'm trying. I can kind of see why people use that. There's certainly a level of control, but I'm not getting the snap out of it, so I'm not holding it the way I need to. You really got to get something against the rim, the inner rim. So I'm gonna try more for like that. Let's see how that works. And I'll put this out here. That wasn't bad. Oh, I like that. I didn't get the snap out of it that I wanted, but it came out straight. It came out the way I intended, so let's try that again. Just play with the grips. So that's how I'm holding it. I'm gonna put my thumb more out here because I just don't like it out here. Just maybe it gives me more control. Oh, okay, fine, I'll stick with it. Okay. That's got potential. So I think I'm gonna play around with that grip a little bit. I'm gonna try with the thumb here now and see how that feels. Oh, I can see. Let me put out the edge of the flat plate, the edge of the shoulder. Oh yeah. Okay, that variant of the fan grip, I think I can use more than the modified one. I like that. Okay, in the interest of time, what I'm going to do, I'm going to settle on a modified power grip, very similar to what I just did. I'm going to, again, use the pinch grip. And instead of having my fingers just against the rim down here, I'm going to try to fan them out a little bit, but still keep this pinky here against the plate, this against the plate, and get these as much as I can. And see, this no longer is a pinch grip because the contact point of this finger is in a bit more than there, but this gives me a mix of control and distance. So we're going to see if this will get me what I need. I threw that low, but I liked the feel of it. So again, I'm changing my grip from standard just a little bit to where I get a little more control on the bottom, and then this comes out a little bit more. Okay. I don't think I got quite the power that you'd get from the power grip. Like when you do this, the whole reason it's called the power grip, because you're pulling on this, whereas if you're doing this, you know, it gives you more control, but less power. So that seems to be sussing out. So let me splay the fingers a little bit. I like that. I don't feel I'm getting the power, but they are going straight, which is good. Again, focus on grabbing it. It's where I've got more control. I released it too late, but I like the energy and power I got from it. Okay, splay the fingers out. Bring this out a little bit. Balance of control and power, hopefully. Oh yeah. So I have to say that is less power than I'm used to, but arguably more control. So that blue Mako 3 is the only decent throw I would consider that I made out of that 5. I felt like I dialed it in a little bit better. So again, I'm going to try the modified power grip in that my thumbs are on the flight plate, and I'm just going to put the thumb where it's comfortable. Let me put this in the meat of my hand, get the fingers where they're supposed to be. Put this out right here, and then I'm going to see what I can do. It's not bad. Again, I don't feel quite the power that I normally get because the meat of my fingers is not on the rim the way I would like them to be, but There's definitely more control. There, pulled it out too far. I love the way that flew, but clearly my recreational level disc golf throwing ability is letting me down. Okay, getting that grip, that flight plate. Not bad. Get that feeling. It's out to where it's comfortable. I got more control. There we go. I think I put maybe a little too much hyzer on that, but I can't really complain. Again, let's get this the way I want it. Nice and control, nice and... There we go. Pulled it late, but I don't care. I wanted a hyzer, and that's what I got. All right, let's try the fairway drivers. Okay, so none of those mid-ranges went past the average distance that I got with my putters, so I'm under two assumptions at this point. Assumption number one, the new grips, all the ones I'm trying, are not as good as my current grip, which is a pinched, front-loaded power grip. But also, the second assertion, I'm more experienced with that than these other grips, therefore I'm able to translate more power onto the disc that way. And actually, a third assumption, I'm throwing with so little power relative to the pros and the actual good disc golf throwers out there that I'm not able to make the differences between these felt. But I don't believe I'm gaining any distance more than the power grip with any of these fan gripped variants that I've tried, or even the modified power grip. That said, I'm going to try the modified power grip again, where I'm going to kind of grip it like this and get my fingers out like that, and then the thumb will go wherever it feels comfortable. That felt really good and didn't hurt. Didn't feel uncomfortable, so I'll just keep trying it. There we go. Not bad at all. I do like the accuracy here. Trying to get it where it's comfortable. These are definitely flying farther with less effort, but I attribute that to the aerodynamic nature of these fairway drivers. That was a bad release on my part, and I'm okay with that. I'm learning. It does feel weird. It doesn't hurt, thankfully, like the first ones did. So I'm probably going to stick with this modified power grip. Oh yeah. Probably a little, yeah, a little bit less distance than what I'm used to throwing the way I normally throw, but at least those four, the way I threw them, the way I wanted them to, they went where I wanted them to. So I'd say that last one, the DGA Vortex, really got the distance I expected it, about 240 feet with relatively little effort. I would say that's the closest I get to my normal level of throws. Now I'm going to do with a little bit of a cross step here, and we're going to see if I can, how that goes. That went really well. So there's something to be said about the control you get from a more fanned grip. Even if you're a power grip connoisseur, I think there's something to be said for that. Sorry for the Coriolis cross step here. I'm only doing 3 steps because of camera placement. I like that. I think I do have better grip. So I'm gonna keep playing around with this. So I'd say at this point, using drivers, this grip can work. I'm not convinced that this particular type of modified power grip will work for my putters, but for fairway drivers, seems to be where it's at. That was a mistake on my part. I'm trying not to tip over the camera. I'm trying to get close enough to you guys, but I'm also trying to have roughly the same steps. So let me get the love it. All right. Okay, so using my Bushnell, 3 of those discs were about 240 to 250 feet away, which is great considering I'm not putting full power on these. I'm putting like 80% power, and I've got a 10 mile per hour, whatever you call it, tailwind. That's what they call that. Okay. I'm going to try this modified power grip, the one that I found most comfortable on the 11-speed distance drivers that I have. I've got 2 Mambas, a Maya, a Mystere, and a Turn, and I'll put these numbers on the screen as I throw. But again, I'm going to throw with a cross step, kind of grip these in a modified. They do feel different. Like, let's show you what this looks like. This modified fan grip looks like that. And then I'm going to figure out where to put my thumb when I throw. And then we're going to try that. So let's try it with these discs here. Here's my G-Star Mamba. Again, let me get the thing. I'm just going to do a cross step, 3-step cross step. Hope you guys can see me. Doesn't really matter. Y'all aren't here to watch my form. Y'all don't care. Oh, I didn't do that right. Really soared though. Absolutely cooked that. Okay, let's get that modified power grip again. Again, I'm going to throw towards that shack. Too much Anheuser. Wow, it really took off though. All right. Again, modified fan grip. Looks like that. Get that thumb. Yeah, I'm throwing with too much Anheuser. They're hauling butt though. Modified fan grip, really comfortable. So another thing I like about this modified fan grip is it feels good from putter all the way to 11-speed distance driver. So that's something to consider. Unfortunately, I'm throwing them there, so I'm going to aim that way and do the same thing so you guys can see. There we go. All right, so bad throwing aside, the important thing to me is how does it feel when I'm throwing, and I like it, so I think I have something to work with. I'm still working on my form, of course. But I think the modified power grip is something I'm going to keep experimenting with instead of just the typical pinched power grip, the front-loaded power grip that I've been using. So that's going to be informative for me. I'll let you guys know how it goes. That said, keep in mind tomorrow I'm going to upload a more long-form video where I talk about the different grip types and kind of touch on the various things people are talking about, because I think it's a very interesting discussion to be had. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.